Okay, so we've made some good progress here in terms of our book assembly journey. As you can see, we've threaded the original loops on the text block. We've attached this fabric, we've done it 4 times now, with both the ribbon and the headband and tailband in place. It's all glued down here on the spine, and you can see the actual destination of where we're going here. So eventually what we're going to do is thread, we'll cut these here and thread them through the original holes that were made by the bookbinder 300 years ago. And then once those are threaded and pulled tight, we're going to stick the fabric down and then cover the whole area with a spare sheet of this marbled paste down. And that structurally will basically be the core of the job done, if it were so simple. We've got a task to do first though, which is probably the riskiest task in the whole project, which is we need to remove these original pieces of twine that the previous bookbinder used. So that's what we're going to do next. So as you can see, I've created some illumination here, and I've relocated the camera so that we can have a look at what we're doing end on. I'm going to have moved the binding down. If I take the text block away just for a second, we can actually see what the challenge is here. So in order to remove these, we're going to actually have to liberate them, and they feed through underneath. Now this surface here is all glued down, and you can see that it's actually folded over at both ends. So this is one piece of leather, and it comes up and it's folded there and there. And the leather actually here is quite thin, and it's under quite a bit of tension as well. It's been sort of pulled tight over this board for centuries, literally. So what we're going to have to do is ease this leather away in such a way that we're able to actually remove these pieces of twine, but without, if at all possible, splitting the leather here or here. If it does split, it's not a complete disaster, but obviously it's something that we want to try and avoid here. So in order to do that, I'm going to make a gentle start first from the middle and work my way outwards. Why? Well, the leather will have a little bit of give that will allow it to go down, and obviously starting in the middle allows me to make progress while minimizing the risk at the edges. So to do that, I'm going to make use of the bluntest edge in the house, this kind of knife that you'd give a small child to use, I guess. And we're going to see if we can just gently, just like that, just separate out the leather a little bit. So I'm going to take a lot of time over this and do this very, very carefully. Be very aware, listen to how the book is sounding, and whatever you do, don't use any kind of excessive force. Just have it give a little, move it somewhere else, do the same, have it give a little more, and so on. So I'm going to gently continue that process and take my time over it. Okay, so I've spent a little bit of time teasing this away, made some reasonable progress, and we're now in a position to attempt to extract just this middle guy here. First thing I strongly recommend, take a picture of all of this. That way you have a record of what the previous bookbinder did, and then it's easy for you to replicate later. Okay, so I'll move this slightly. I'm going to attempt to zoom in, hopefully, and we'll have a close look at what we're dealing with here. So, as you can see, the twine originally came in here. You can just about see the ends of the twine. And I've been able to establish that it came up here, then went back down through the board, went across to here, and came up. So the actual end of the twine is right here. So what I'm going to do is lift this up. Now, I've loosened the leather underneath. I'm pulling this supporting book back a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is actually see, before attempting to pull it through with this dental pick, I'm actually just going to see if I can just get it to go through under its own strength. I'm just going to twist it slightly. Let's see if it'll go. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Doesn't look like it wants to. So I'm going to reach under this. I'm going to try and do it in a way that I'm not obscuring the leather. Let's try once more this way. To be honest, this is simply the most intricate part. So, one of those cases where you just have to take a lot of time over it. And I'm going to have to get very close and see what I can do here. Okay, so I wasn't successful at pushing that down, so instead I chose a different tack, which was obviously we have this free end here, and I can see it coming up here. So I actually put the pick underneath and levered it through, and that actually was more successful. So I was able to, there we go, you see? Let's just work it out like this. Because I'm working 100% above, I've got the board between me and the leather, so I'm not doing the leather any damage, which is the main thing. There we go. Now, the next bit is, let's see if we can get it to slide on through. Again, if I can do it with staying this side of the leather, I really want to try and do that. Nope, I'm going to have to go underneath and see if I can loosen it a bit further. So one thing I've found that just de-risks the whole process a little bit is if you do have to go between the board and the leather to get this out, just use this as a platform, if you like, to press down on the leather so that you're still working. So basically this pick is between board and metal, not board and leather. And then you can go at the twine from underneath without actually worrying too much about damaging the leather, at least with the pick. So what I'm going to do is see if I can get the pick. Yeah, almost there. That's it. Oh, well, that's interesting. The longer bit's pulling through. That's a surprise. I didn't expect that, but so let's see if we can So as you just saw, I've gotten some movement, but it's still in place. I'm just nervous about trying to work under here with any kind of sharp edge. I'm first going to see if I can just use the strength of the fibre to actually just remove it. So let's see if I can do it that way. Hopeful. I'm going to twist it so pliers can get a little bit more purchase, have a little more thickness to work with. Go away. There we go. Oh yeah. There we go. Now I just need to do that 4 more times, and then the same the other side. Okay, just one more example. So I've done this a couple of times now, and it looks as though the easiest way is going to be lift this, pull this, and then pull the whole thing. So I'm going to give that a go now. So I lift that. I've got the fibre there. That goes underneath, and then just use the cone shape as a lever to pull it through. And then first with my hands, I'm going to see if I can pull the whole thing. Hands probably won't work, I probably need the pliers. But I can hear the fabric breaking. So just make sure everything here is as loose as it needs to be. Make sure the leather is free. One more go. Maybe a combination of hands and pliers. Maybe this way we'll do instead. Yeah. There we go. There we are. Staying above the board the whole time, lowers to the leather underneath. Okay, so there we go. We've removed all 5 of the twines. If we look underneath, the leather's intact. And there we go, that piece is done.